the the real move happens during market open, and then that's it. We don't see anything else. We don't see any sort of continuation, right, for the midday, end of day, so on and so forth, right? You remember last week, right? We had a couple of runs on SNGX. Okay, just remember this last week. Okay, we had a run on SNGX, right? I made its move, and it was done for the rest of the day. No opportunities at all. All right. Same thing as it is for the past few days, I think. Okay. But yeah, I would say that for the most part, things are just generally slow during the midday and to end of day, right? There is no surprise over there. Oh, we're getting some after hour flow over here. Look at that. Oh my gosh, we're hitting targets. I'm gonna start showing more over here. This is gonna be a very big level to clear, right? The 70 cents. All right, looking pretty good. Might be a multi-day mover over here for me as well. I think the fact that this ticker does not have any sort of news today, but managed to churn out 117 million shares over here. Former runner as well. Though very, I mean, just look at this, guys. Who is still holding this with me? Who is still holding this with me? You know, I trusted the plan. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Oh my gosh, let's do this. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Anyone of you guys still in this with me? You guys, we did not lose our plan or anything like that, right? Let's see whether we can breach the 80 cents for more. It's been beautiful over here. I'm gonna trim a little bit more off this 75 cents pop. Oh my gosh, we're actually doing it. About 25% left. Wait, none of you guys are in this right now? You guys close it off? You guys just close it off? None of you guys are in this? Wait, why? Oh my God, why did you guys close it off? You're still in this, right? Are you still in this? You're still in this? Okay, please trim, of course. Yeah. I only have 20 to 25% left. Wait. Hold on. What do you mean by you missed the entry this morning? I gave you re-entries over here just now at 2:32 p.m. Eastern. Look, I gave you guys re-entries over here. You don't see it? Do you see it, Kevin? I'm not talking about the morning entries. Morning entries, no, it was done, right? We closed it off. I'm talking about the 2:32 one over here. Ah, no, that's cool. That's cool. All right. It's okay. It's always gonna be another trade, right? Okay, let's talk about the trades taken for today. And I think this is something that a lot of us over here, right? We tend to kind of just keep wanting to trade, right? We think that when we take a trade, we're gonna make money, so on and so forth. This is honestly, it's good if the market's hot, but when the market's not hot, that's a very negative mindset to have because the more trades you take, the more you're just gonna end up forcing, taking bad trades, and you're gonna end up losing money, right? And I think that is something that we should definitely avoid. Now, for those of you guys who have been trading with me since the morning, okay, during pre-market we took two trades. IMG, which you guys can clearly see, worked out really well, right? 0.144 on 5 break to 38 cents. So IMG, right? We hit all the way to 69 cents. One trade, more than enough. Now the second trade over here is going to be YXC, right? YXC, we got one as well, 132, stop loss on the 125. We never lost 125 as you guys can see. Okay, and price went all the way to 2 plus. Now, do you guys not think that's a good trade? Now you see, we're already done even before the market opened up. We had two great trades even before the market opened up. Now, for me, if let's say I have a day job, right, and I kind of sit through this session over here, I don't need to trade for the rest of the day because I've traded my supplementary income. You know, I've traded, I've made my money. This is my supplementary income. I'm 2-2 today. I'm done. Now, and also the thing is for the past few days, right? For the past few days, I think um midday to after hour session has been slow. Obviously, there might be anomalies. Like today, right now, we're seeing with Cavill, right? There's an anomaly right there. Okay, but generally speaking, okay, we always want to be on the majority side of things because that is what is more than likely supposed to happen. Okay, but we could always do try some just to see what happens because you see over here, it worked out, right? What was my end of day play for you guys? I kept it very simple, right? I kept it very simple. I was super clear about this as well. I said, hey, you know what? I added this over here, stop loss on the 59s. It's one more potential step to EOD, might be slow, but it's worth a shot. So two things is gonna happen over here. One is that there's no catalyst over here. It's a little bit slower, right? We had a nice trade earlier as well. So when it went up 67, I trimmed some, right? And then I have some left just to see if we continue going higher into power hour or after hours, which we did. But let's just say now if it doesn't work out, right? My trade's protected over here. If it goes under 59 cents, I close my position. I'm break even or small green on the second trade, right? And that's completely fine because I protected my trade by scaling first move on 67, right? Which is more than a very nice risk to reward over here. Um, and then by remaining shares, I'm gonna close out break even, or sorry, close out under 59 cents, which is my structure, or I wait to see if after hours it does the flow, which it did, and we went all the way up to 77 cents over here so far. So you see, it to me at that point of time, taking this trade, okay, in a market condition that is more than likely not going to make a move, I am blessed. I mean, it's lucky that we have a nice move to 67s, right? 66.6693. I'll take it 67. We had a move over there. We took our profits, right? We took our profits, but do we sell everything? No. Why would I just sit inside a trade, right? I'm not gonna take a trade, okay, thinking that I'm just gonna make a 3 cents move and call it a day. No, right? There is potential over here. Okay, it's not breaking down. Shorts tried to push us down over here, but we're consolidating over here and started curling back up again. Right? This is it's a low floater as well, right? Insane amount of volume today, even though there's no catalyst, right? So it's something special over here. There's something cooking right here, technically speaking. Okay, but do I have to sell everything over here? No. So what do I do? What do I do to protect myself? Right? What I do is I scale 50% here, and my remaining 50%, I'll close under 59 cents, which is the current base. Right? So if it works out, look, I have more profits right now. I'm very nicely green over here right now. But let's just say if it doesn't work out, I'm either flat or small green because of me taking 50% over here. I'm protected. I'm stress free. This way I don't have to listen to my emotions. I listen to what the chart says. Did we lose 59 cents? Did we actually go down 59 cents? We never did. You see that? We never lost 59 cents. Right? Throughout the duration of this move, it was very slow, but we never lost 59 cents. And what do I always tell you guys, right? Respect the setup, trust the setup, right? You don't anticipate action, react to it. You see? Right? So in the end, you end up working out really well because the potential is there. Right? The potential is there. I'm not gonna be taking, a lot of you guys was asking me in main chat, right? Why don't you trade IXHL? Why don't you trade IXHL? Guys, come on. This ticker is not a intraday setup. It has been running recently because of the PR and stuff. It just ran from 35 cents to 57 cents. How can I be adding over here? How can I be adding over here? It's crazy. But this made a move. It went down. It's consolidating over here. It has more chance of a potential reversal move back up, right? It's not like IXHL is a low floater with fresh news that's going crazy. Nah, it's not. This is not a momentum trade, by the way. Right? This is more of a swing trade or more of like a bounce after its recent highs, right? And now it's probably bouncing off. It's not a momentum trade. It's not an intraday setup. So I cannot be chasing a play that's at 57 cents right now when when people inside here maybe have been swinging this since 33 cents. There will be definitely some profit taking. I cannot be adding it up here when this is not an intraday setup, first off. Secondly, this ticker is very, very heavy. People has recently touched this a lot, right? And then this is not a slow floater. It's not going to give me any more upside over here even if I do play the dips, right? But how do these it's just dropping. There's no structure because this thing just keeps going up. But this, there's structure. It's consolidating. We know where the rejection point is at. We know where the support point is at. We know where the curling point is at, right? There is structure over here. I know where to take my entries, where's my stop loss. Something's a little bit, and this is a little bit safer. IXL, I'm literally just chasing the move. Nothing wrong with it, but it's not worth it. Not for today's market condition. And secondly, this is not an intraday setup. Does this have any news over here? No. Right? So I cannot chase this. Okay, right? So that's the thing, right? That's the one thing. So again, very slow day. We had a great day on IMG and YXC. You guys can see though they both went really, really great. And even when market opened up, I gave you guys Poly, right? Poly had 100% complete response rate over here. I told you guys to wait for the 145 breakout, stop loss under 130. You can see that 145 break, stop loss under 130, right? And over here, we broke out from 145 over here, took our entries over here, right? Went out to 160. And I told you guys, trim some profits over there. Raise stops to under 135 instead of 130. So we raised it up by 5 cents. Did we lose 135? Guys, did we lose 135? Did we lose 135 over here? No, we didn't. And then what happened on open? We went to 190. And is this a great trade? Now, at this point of time, we are already 3-3. Why do you have to continue trading? And even if you do not give your profits back. It's that simple. Right? Remember the same mistake that someone did right yesterday, right? SGBX, for example. Okay. This person was in at 42 cents when I alerted this, right? And it went all the way to 60 cents. Is that a green trade, guys? Yes or no? Is that a green trade, guys? Yes or no? That's a green trade. But that person did not take profits and he went to bed, and then he woke up this morning and he asked me, is it still worth holding on to SGBX? I'm in at 42 cents. I did not take profits at 60 cents, and right now it's at 33 cents. Should I hold on to it? I mean, you see, this is just absolutely ridiculous, right? This is just absolutely, this is truly beginner mistakes. It's not like the trade is bad. The trade is amazing. But when your execution is bad, you're gonna end up losing money. Right? And I'll tell you one thing, guys. Do you guys think this poly trade today was great? Let me ask you guys, do you guys think this poly trade this morning, the 145 breakout, was this good or not? Do you think this was a great trade? Right? Do you guys think this was a great trade? This 145 break. Let me show you guys. Right? Do you guys think this was a great trade going to open? You see how 145 is holding on, right? You see, this is the breakout candle. We add on the next candle, right? Immediately on the next candle. I'm not telling you to be adding at 160, okay? The candle close, the next one opens up. We know that the breakout confirmed. We add it. Or you want to add it before the candle closed the last 5 seconds, because if you believe that the last 5 seconds nothing's going to happen, then you could take it because it's going to close anyway, which is going to confirm the breakout. But do you guys think this is a great trade? Right? It was a great trade, right? This was a great alert. But guess what, guys? Someone's red over here. I know a member who's red over here. He's asking me what to do when the price is at 102. He's asking me what to do. All right, PVT. What do I do? I'm still holding on to Poly's 102 right now. Should I cut? I think I've been more than clear, right? I reminded you guys twice inside my channel. I said, please rate. First off, I updated you guys to stop loss raising, right? 130. Then after the second one over here was telling you to raise to 135. After that, I told you guys to raise up to under 140. After that, I told you guys again, I reminded you guys again, be ready to close if we lose 140. And the person can actually DM me and ask me, right? And I'm not saying that please don't DM me and ask me, right? Yeah, I'm not. You see, I'm not even showing you guys who this person is, but for learning purposes, the person is asking me, is it still worth holding on to this? It's a 104, and his rate, he actually ended up being red on this trade, and to me that is just ridiculous. This is supposed to be a green trade. It's not like I did not alert you guys. It's not like I did not was I not clear? I mean, was I not clear about the plan? I was super clear, right? So execution is very important. If you guys are, it's like the one guy in the chat today that said that he's been losing every single trade that he follows me. I mean, come on, that's just doesn't make sense, right? Execution is a very important thing. Okay, so please, guys, all right, don't ever, when you're in a trade, please don't step away. Please don't go to bid, right? These are not trades that you can buy and sleep through it, okay? You may be lucky once or twice, you sleep through it, actually goes crazy for the day, but that's because of luck, right? Luck does not take you so far. When you're in a trade, you better stay in a trade, monitor it, right? The only time you can step away is if it goes high enough, you set your stop loss, then you step away. For example, if I'm in over here at 145, right? If I'm in over here for a 145 for party, okay, and then it goes all the way to $3. Now, if you ask me, should you be able to close out a trade over here? Or should you be able to step away? I would say yeah. If you're in at 145, it goes to 3, you have not been taking your profits on the way up, something's really wrong with you, first off. Secondly, is that if let's say you've trimmed profits and maybe you have like 10, 15, 20% left, set your stop loss at a particular number that you want and just close the computer. You don't need to look at this anymore because you are already green. This is whatever happens at the point of time, whether it goes down, triggers your stop loss, whether it continues going up, right? The main point is that your baseline, your trade is already secured, right? Your trade is already. And by the way, I'm gonna try some CMCT over $10. I'm gonna have my stops on the 960. Now, please watch the size for CMCT over here in after hours because first off, spread sucks. You guys can see, right? The spread is absolutely disgusting. Okay, so that's why my stop loss on the 960. If you will, I would say have risk and profits from KVL, all right, to play it safe. Okay, but only above 10. If not, I don't like it. Okay, so anyway, but make sure again watch it because these type of trades over here, especially in after hours, it becomes very spread. Look at the spread; it sucks. When you buy into this, you're immediately losing 30 cents a share. So you cannot size in for this. So play with some profits from Cavill if it breaks 10, right? Could be something worth watching. Okay, so but always remember that this is something that you guys need to understand, right? Your executions there. You need to not give profits back. That is just one of the most stupidest thing to do. All right. So next up is going to be BRLT. Now, I don't know if you guys were thinking this is fast though, but I think there's more than enough time, right? I think when I alerted this over here, it was over here, I think, right? It was over here. Okay, now obviously, I told you guys this many times before, right? Now, this server is becoming bigger by the day, okay? And I'm happy, like people are actually finding me and stuff like that. But when the server grows bigger, all right, when the server grows bigger, when I alert something, it's going to move a price of the stock. That is the reality of the situation, right? It's going to move it. Okay, that's the reason why whenever BK King alerts something, right, you can see when you go to it, there's a huge large candle because a lot of people are buying it, so that's why there's a huge, price move, right? This is something you guys have to understand, okay? But does it mean that I'm selling into you guys over here? I think I've said this many times before, right? I never ever sell on the candle alert because it's not ethical, right? And it's not organic. Okay, I'll show you guys with KVL later, right? I'll show you guys with KVL later, okay? But it's not organic. I'll never sell it with candle eye alert. So when I alerted BRTL at 220 to $2, what I'm trying to tell you guys is that I'm in at 220s. All right, it doesn't have to be 220, all right? I'm talking about 225, 226, 227. And I'll take dips down to $2 if it gives me that before breaking out. Right? So this was at 959. And you can see that at 959, okay, all right, at 959, right? This is the candle over here, right? It went up from it was at 220s. You can see it was at 220s, right? And it went up to 237. Now, did I sell over here? No, I didn't. I did not sell over here because I do not sell on the candle alert, right? And just because it's a little quick, I had to send the alert out to you guys first before I can give you guys the plan. Because if I were to send this and type this in over here, maybe you guys might miss out on the alert, right? And then on the next candle, okay, there's no excuse on this, by the way. The next candle, price opens up at 228. What's stopping you guys from adding over here? Or even 230? What's stopping you guys from adding over here? There's nothing, right? And you see, after that, right, this went to 243, and then we went all the way to 250 something. I would say that's a great trade. And you see, I kept you guys updated along the way too. Looking for 245 and more. We hit 259. I told you guys 255 is a weak expansion. Okay, and you guys can clearly see we never expanded through it because we never broke out from it. right? If you look at this on the weekly chart, okay, this is a huge price action separation for BRLT. You guys can see that, all right? You guys can see it's a huge price action separation over here, right? Let's see, look at this, resistance, resistance, support, 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 then come resistance again. So this is a huge price action separation, which is also the reason why price couldn't break out from it. You guys know what we need to clear breakout to have expansion level, right? It never happened over here. You guys see that? So, but what was the plan? 245 and more. Stop loss was originally under $2, and I told you guys to raise it under 210 and to keep it green, right? Over here, right? And then the second trade over here, I was back in, okay? I was back in. Okay, this is the one that I want to explain to you guys again, right? BTOC accumulation didn't work out. I mean, there's not much to. Honestly, I would say this could have worked out, right? But I didn't want to mess around too much with it, so I just closed off preemptively. I should have again, if I respected the plan, right? If I respected the plan over here, look, okay, we talk about BTOC, right? So BTOC and nice volume today, went all the way up to 51 cent. Price went down. Now, if I were to stick to my original plan to accumulate down to 43 cents or even 40 cents for that matter, okay, this reversal move over here back up to 47 cents would have kept me green, right? It wouldn't have done so much. I mean, it is a pretty slow day. It's not like it's catalyst over here, right? But I should have respected the plan, whatever the case is. But I didn't close for a big loss because I closed it off at 42 cents instead of 40 cents or 39 cents. So the loss is minimized. Still a great trade over here on BTOC, but the loss is minimized. Right. And then BRLT. Now this is the second one, right? So over here, what happens that in the morning there wasn't a whole lot of movers. Okay. This was a low daily average volume on this, right? You can see 46,000 shares. But what I don't like about this ticker is that this is not something that people usually trade. It's more of your earnings type of ticker. Hey, this market cap over here is huge. I mean, it's not huge, but one of the bigger ones as compared to the ones that we trade on a day-to-day basis, right? And this thing, you can see it's still a very nice move, but it's not sustainable. Okay, but does it mean that you don't take profits? When I gave you guys the alert over here at 1028, right? Stop loss is under 190. It's very simple, right? Base low over here. The base low over here, right? 193. I'm running off to 190. Okay, this is the current swing low that we have. Now, price rejected the 2.55 weekly expansion level, huge drop. But we start to see signs of life over here. You see that? We start to see signs of life over here, right? You guys don't see that? We start to see signs of life over here. So at 1028, all right, we start cooling off a little bit. Remember, at this point of time, there was nothing moving. All right, there was literally nothing moving at this point of time. So at 1028, sorry, 1028, I was in at 218, which is right here. All right, I was in at 218 and went all the way to 230. Okay, which again was my initial target, right? 230 to 235. Why? Because that's my 1 minute VWAP, the white line over here. Now, again, I do not take my profit. I did not take my profits, which is why I kept quiet over it. All right, and then 1040. What happens after that? Price went down to 207. What's wrong with adding over here if you guys haven't added that? It's okay. And we went up to 236. What was my plan? My plan was 230, 235. And I said this many times before, right? And the original stop loss is under 190. And then I told you guys to raise the stop under 205. Okay, and we hit targets. This should be a green trade. This is a second trade for us, by the way. It's a second trade for us. And this thing had a huge selling candle. Okay, obviously I don't sell over here, right? But I have my line at 205. And when I see that this candle sold off like that and breaks down 205, I closed off my position already. Right, I immediately closed it off. I didn't have to wait for the candle to close. No need to, right? Because you never ever let a green trade turn red, isn't it? Right, this green, we hit our targets, but this is such a nasty VWAP rejection over here, right? Two big red candles, selling pressures, big red sell candle too, right? So you don't ever let a green trade turn red. We closed off. Don't have to wait for it to close. It's not like this is a low volume sell. This is a heavy volume sell off. You don't want to stay in this, right? Okay, so pretty simple, right? We kept it, kept you guys updated, so on and so forth. All right. And then Cavo, this one over here, And you guys were asking me, a lot of you guys were asking me, how do I know 77 is it's an intraday rejection and stuff. Now look, okay. Now look at this, all right? Look at this. So before this, okay? Before this. All right. Now when I gave you guys Cavo at 71s, stop loss is on 65. Now, first off, why did I take this? Again, it's because there was nothing else moving. Right? Cavo was one of the only ones that was gearing, there was having some sort of structure. I like the fact that price was basing above the 65 cents level. Right? This is a nice level on the daily chart. You can see there is no clear theme in the current markets today. Everything was just really by itself. You can see that this 65 cents level is very crucial. Okay, look at this. You guys see 65 cents? Look at this. All right, very very crucial. All right, so it's a pretty big level on the daily chart. So, when the price went down over here and reclaimed the 65 cents, I was like, this is pretty impressive, right? It's a this is reclaimed structure, reclaimed key level on the daily chart. Nothing else is really moving, right? And I did tell you guys today's the market slow. If you wanna trade, you take this. If you don't want to trade anything left, then don't trade because regardless, we have a great day. BRLT 2-2 on it. VTOP one loss. BRLT were green twice. BTOP we lost one. IMG were green. Poly were green. BGL means a lot of I didn't take it, but if I took it at 11 plus, it was green. YXC were green. What was so bad about that? Right? So over here, this Cabo, this was also green. And you guys were like, oh, how do I know 77 cents? Guys, remember, I trade myself. I trade the calls myself. I cannot tell you guys to take profits first, and then I type it out. No, then I take profits myself. When I gave you guys the alert over here at 11:05, okay, right, which is right on this candle. Again, you can see, right, there is a price, people are adding into it, it's gonna push the price up, right? If you look at the volume disparity over here, okay, this was 101 million shares, this is 987 million shares. But when I start alerting it at 11:05, all right, it suddenly have 2.4 million shares. Okay, but again, like I always say, I do not sell on the candle eye alert. I will never ever sell on the candle eye alert. All right, so you guys can start to accumulate dips after. It's fine. So price went up to 77 cents over here. I mean, you guys asking me, I do not know that this is a rejection. Can you guys not see the chart? Do you guys not see where the rejection first happened? You have information to this. It's just an intraday rejection. That's it. It's the same. You know that this is rejected over here. You know that. You guys can see it too. Right? So you see the price tapping this. I trimmed some. Price went down. Stop loss is still on 65 cents. And we recovered very nicely over here. And we made 80 cents. Unfortunately, 80 cents is what we wanted to break out from. Couldn't break out from it. Right? And then price went down. But was it a great trade? It was a great trade. Right? It was a great trade. Considering the fact that this doesn't have any sort of catalyst to justify this move. And today's market was pretty slow. We did hit my targets. I'm very happy about it. And another thing, again, further emphasizing on the Cavo's move, right? So you can see right over here, I mean, BTOP was nice. Further emphasizing on the Cavo's move over here. You see, people like this are just like, people putting thumbs down when this trade actually hit the levels. The execution is definitely like, not there because we we went to 47s, 48s over here. I'm not expecting much. Today is not the day for me to expect much. I can't tell you guys I'm adding this at 44 cents and looking for a move to $1. Like on a day like today, when this thing doesn't have a catalyst, it's not gonna happen. If you guys do not want to take a trade because you feel like it's too small of a move, then don't take it. Do you have to take this? We were great during market open, right? Then don't take it. There's no need for you to take it. You see, there's no need for you to take it then. If you don't want to take these small moves, right, then don't take it. No, if you want to take it and you start expecting this to go like $1, $2, then you're not adapting to what the market's telling you. Now, of course, you're going to end up being red because your mindset itself is already cooked, right? And one more thing over here, you can see Cavo 62s, right? This is at 232. I'll show you guys again. Look, I'll show you guys again, right? The volume disparity on the candle over here. So you can see, this was trading at 68,000 shares, 40,000 shares, 63,000 shares, right? And you see, it's within the 5-digit range, not much. But when I start alerting it, suddenly 173,000 shares. Okay, but of course, it doesn't mean that when I alert something, it's just gonna jump, crazily and stuff like that. Okay, I do not sell on the candle I alert. Okay, I only sold on this pop over here. I gave you guys time to accumulate your position because I do not sell on the candle I alert. Why? Because this is inorganic action. I prefer organic movement like this. Okay, I'm not gonna sell on the candle alert, right? Price went down. I took the crimson. Price went down. Structures to holding on to it. Relax. Okay, now price is dropping. It's cool. Again, there's no catalyst over here. I'm not surprised by this. I'm gonna close off my runners, right? But does it mean that you see, but we hit my targets, and even more. I'm happy. I'm happy about it. There's no catalyst over here to support this move, right? There is no catalyst over here to support this move, so I don't want to force it. I mean, I don't. There's no justification, right? People ask you why is this running? Oh, no news. But if something else has a catalyst, it has more of that. I would say reason, right? People can explain. Oh, this it has more justification to be like, oh, this is worth getting into because there's a catalyst today that might support people buying into this, right? But today there isn't anything over here. It's not, and it's not like recently we have any sort of non-catalyst name run, right? So you see, I'm not expecting much because I know today is not a day to expect much. Could this have exploded? Yes, 20% chance, 80% chance it doesn't. But this is still a very great move. This is still a very good move. All right, it's all part of understanding expectations and managing expectations to the market. I keep telling you guys that I never ever whenever I take a trade, I want to look for new highs and stuff. That's still always the same. But when it comes to days like today, and I keep telling you guys, things are just gonna be a little bit slow and stuff like that, right? We can't expect that to happen. There's no way. We just have to make sure that we adapt to it, and whatever the market's telling us, we take it. This is still a great trade if you don't normalize 500% movers, right? 62, 63s to save 76 on a day like today, and I'll take it any fucking day. Okay, all right. So it's a slow day. Not much we can do about that. It was a very hot morning though, right? But for the mid to end of day session, very slow. And is it normal? Has that been the case for the past few weeks? I would say yes. That has been the case for the past few weeks, so it's very normal. Like if you overtrade, then you probably end up taking micro losses, which is not is pointless. All right. Okay, let's get some questions in. What was your entry on CMCT? What do you mean? I didn't take CMCT. I told you $10 break. What do you think about Apple? Yeah, just buy. Just Apple, just buy it. I mean, any dip, just buy it and then just hold long term for it. Yeah, nah, Apple is a safe long term investment. You don't really have to. Um, yeah, I'll go over IMG and YXC later. Can you go over how you find your levels on IMG and YXC before you took the trade in PM? Sure, sure. How could I be so confident about Cavill because it's so slow? I'm not. I mean, I'm not confident about it. Okay, but all I know is that the risk reward over here is great. It's worth a shot. Shorts tried to push us down over here, right? We never lost structure. We started curling back up. I mean, the risk reward's good. If it works out, fuck it. If it doesn't, fuck it. It's small. That's why. Yeah, that's why. Okay. So that's that. All right. That's the reason, right? Did I know this is gonna happen? Obviously not. If I knew, I would have full port. Okay, but I didn't know. All I know is that the structure is very good. The risk towards great. I mean, potential risk towards great. It was worth a try. Okay. Um, and of course, there was nothing else that was worth taking, right? So it's either I take this or I don't take anything at all. Okay, so let me just look at YC. So the level four. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the what's the first one? IMG. So IMG is very simple. Honestly, the execution here is very simple, right? I don't really have okay. So levels wise, I can levels to the upside unlimited, right? Can there's so much levels to the upside because this thing used to be the $3.5. So there's a lot of levels to the upside. Okay, but what I'm interested in is why did I enter my trade over here on this breakout? Now, if you look at this two candles over here, there's a gap. You guys see that? So I pretty much use my entry model of this of this gap over here. That's it. I pretty much use my entry model of this gap over here. See that? Right? See, I'm gonna show you guys how it looks on the 1 minute chart after. You look, you saw the gap. Can you guys see the gap over here? Anyone? Can you guys? No, I'm not in BRLT. Can you guys see a gap over here? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Now look at this on the 1 minute chart. Is it nice or no? Is it nice or no? Why do you guys think my stop loss plan was like that? It's because of the gap. That's it. Nothing complicated, right? That's it. And then I just write the trend and see what's up. That's all. I cannot control how high the stock's going to go, but all I can control is where my entry is and respect my structure. That's what I can control. I cannot control the stock price going up. All right, none of us can. Okay. YC, very, very simple structure over here. I think, this thing had a nice little pop in the morning, no catalyst on this. Price retested the 200 EMA over here, right? A second. One, two, three, four, bounced off, went back to the 200 EMA, right? Started bouncing off again. So, for me, at this trade, it was very simple. I don't even have to look at the bigger time frame. I just have to take my trade based on this 200 EMA, right? And then I'll cut my position when it loses that. In the end of the day, this thing went from 135 to 2 plus, right? You should never ever be rate because of that anymore. No, I don't include the wicks. A gap is a gap that has you cannot have any sort of price action inside the gap. A wick is a price action, right? A wick is a price action. You cannot have anything inside the gap. I think. Are you serious? Are you serious? I think you're playing. Nah, I think he's playing. This guy's been here for a really long time. Yeah, I think he's playing. But yeah. Okay, so what do I think about MRM? Now, it's a crazy move. All right, they had some news earlier. Joins the World Network, embracing next generation proof of human concept by ChatGPT, blah blah blah. The one thing I don't like about MRM is that it's a Japanese stock. You see, I haven't really checked this out. I remember this being a Japanese stock. Yeah, there we go. It is very nice though. It has explosive potential here. There is a catalyst as well, right? I just don't like it because it's a Japanese stock. So maybe it could be a 4 a.m. run, but hey, the thing is, recently 4 a.m. has been pretty lacking. You see, right? You see this. We apply this over here. There is a gap as well over here on this, right? So if it holds 175, 176, could be potential bounce off, right? You could see this thing broke. Okay, same concept. Look at this. Same concept as um IMG earlier, right? Same concept. Went in and penetrated the gap based on the gap, and it popped up. So if we don't lose this 175, it's a high chance we could see a bounce again, or maybe another reversal move to the upside. Not a guarantee though, but at least on this, on the initial move up, you have your structures, you know what you're looking at. Obviously, right now price is going down, so it's the structure is a little bit different. But doing the initial move, you can see don't complicate trading. It's very simple. No, I don't. Yeah, so yeah, but the thing is, I'm not a fan. I don't know. For me, recently 4 a.m. has been pretty fucking lame. I don't know if you guys have realized that, but 4 a.m. has been fucking shit. There hasn't been any sort of overnight gappers. except for penny names yesterday with IMG, right? That was crazy, but for the most part, I don't see a whole lot. This Japanese name over here, I think this ticker, whenever it has PR, it always gives back some gains. You can see that, right? Always gives back gains, right? Always PR pop, always gives back gains. All right, so see, PR pop always gives back gains. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it might be wrong. Anything can happen in the market. There might be a 10-15% chance it actually breaks the mold today and then it goes crazy. But I'd rather be wrong and not make profits than be wrong and lose money, right? So like we take the IXL trade earlier, for example. Okay, if I didn't add over here and this thing goes to 70 cents, it's fine. Okay, I'd rather be wrong and not make money than be wrong and lose money. Because this is not my trade setup. This is not something I'm comfortable trading. I'm not going to define my rules just because people are telling me to buy it or everyone's in it. All right, you shouldn't fall more into it. She doesn't. I mean, she complains and she spends my money. That's just how she tolerates, man. Fuck. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I would say, I'll probably just wait to tomorrow and then make a decision. All right. But I think if it holds above this 170 level, we can look for, quick, nice risk to reward bounce scalps here and there. Whether it makes a crazy move today, I don't think so. Maybe it does, right? But low chance. You see, it's all about historical patterns. I think, even in the morning, I was talking to you guys about Poly, where I said Poly has the history, right? What did I say about Poly? What did I say about Poly? Okay, what did I say about Poly, guys? Look, what did I say? Shit. Okay, I said this. This ticker is known not to run on PR. But remember, nothing is ever 100%, right? So what I'm trying to say over here is that it could pop because of news, but there's probably a 80%, 90% chance it doesn't hold gates. And you guys know what happened to Poly today? I'm pretty sure you know, right? It died. It didn't make a move. It made a move, yeah, it did. We gotta give credits for that, but it died. I have the similar vibe to MRM, so yeah. No, I only have one computer I trade on, that's all. Okay, so yeah, I will probably just scalp here and there for MRM too. If we hold 175, 170, I'll probably just buy dips and sell the pops. And then we'll see whether it holds for overnight. But I don't know. 4AM recently for the obvious movers hasn't really been doing too good, so not a huge fan of it.